Hi there, my name is Chris Tamirlevich, and I'm one of the creators in Trolls Exposed, the latest anthology graphic novel by Hero Shack Press. And I just want to thank you for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy your stay. We'll be live in just a little bit, about a half hour. So sit back, enjoy the tunes, enjoy the art, and consider backing Trolls Exposed.
The Sleeve Stack-Ins, only on YouTube, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern.
They took away all I held dear. They stole my life from me and made me their weapon.
All she wanted was to dance. To live a normal life.
They made me a killer.
Join Grace O'Connor in her journey to self-discovery as she battles her own inner demons as well as the mob. Her greatest battle will be against the enemy within. Will she finally find peace, or will they all rest in peace?
Hi, my name is Philip Russert, and I am the writer and creator of Tragedy. Tragedy is a gritty, action-packed character study of a young woman who feels trapped in a life she doesn't want. Readers will follow her journey of self-discovery while experiencing intense action scenes that last for pages. I'm proud of this book and the amazing talent attached to it. We have Will Spertasio, Ian Churchill, Larry Stroman, Sean Chen, Adelso Corona, Keith Williams, and more. Ricardo Silva and Sigmund Torrey bring the pages to life. I feel strongly that if you back this campaign, you won't be disappointed. Thank you for taking a look at my book Tragedy, and I hope you enjoy the experience.
These are Uncle Sam's, the airman said you shall not pass. The spirit of Harambe guides the courage of the horde. So go ahead, face the fate of Horizon. If you die, why? Do it for a pay.
How about that? I've been talking without volume. That's pretty cool, Chris. Not the first time I've done that, huh? Let me make sure it's working now. It seems to be. Whoo! Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tism Skism. I was just saying, not much to say tonight. 53, haha, and it's my birthday, so I thought I'd come on. I was going to come on earlier, but I was watching George Gastis. The Moto series is concluded, but I'm sure I'll have another one next week. And he actually does this like Joe King Adventure Hour now, I think it's called. And that's pretty much a blast. Highly recommend it. So what else is going on? In the background there, you see, not anymore. I took that away. Hang on. Yeah, you see a panel from Tina and the Trolls. What's up, Rick?
Not much. Yourself?
I was babbling.
That's somebody else's art. I was just doing something.
I'm just peeking at it. Yeah, no, like I should be in bed by now because I got family coming over tomorrow for my birthday. Well, today.
Well, I should be in bed too, but because I got church in the morning.
Well, I was like, like I just did that. So on the website, I just added a stream time guide kind of thing of everybody's streams I could think of that I normally watch or whatnot. And so on Tism Skism, I have it listed as late night, and then I have it like dog tagged as being a bit sporadic. So I was like, yeah, I should make sure to make an appearance. You just put it up. You can't just ignore that.
Yeah. Well, you did. Didn't you do one last night?
I don't remember.
Or early this morning? Because I could have sworn I seen it on my.
Well, I have been doing more restreams, and this morning I tested something that didn't work. But I was only on for like maybe 5 minutes while I was trying to get something.
Yeah, it says did a Tism Skism.
Yep.
33.
Yeah, I definitely listed it as Tism Skism.
But it was supposed to be from the 26th, so. So
I have no idea. Sometimes I get messages like from Mike, and he'll say to me, "You're scheduled to do a stream at 3:30 this morning. You know that?" And I'm like, "No." So I go in and look, and I can't find it. So I'm like, "Well, hopefully people don't go to see something that's not there." Fortunately, my channel is not very big right now, so it's not a. It's not like there's 1,000 people that show up and go, "Holy cow.
Why isn't he here?"
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, this thing keeps quitting on me. How come? Oh, I bet you it's in battery saver mode. My background.
I just got a dumb question. When is your wife's story set?
Like when, as in time period?
Yeah.
It's modern times. I'm not exactly sure what the time period is. Like, I don't know if it's like 1990s or 2000s, but it's not like ancient history.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure because me and my sometimes I get my stupid ideas, and I ended up thinking about another connecting your internet girl, mine and hers. I could see, they're, like great grandkids of Bridget.
It's possible, but I think she might not want me to touch hers because they're going to do.
Yeah.
After this, they're doing some sort of big. They're doing like something. I don't even know what it is, but her and her daughter are going to expand on it and make it like its own like universe. So I'm not sure how much I can mess with her character, but definitely we can mess with the internet troll because she's fair game. She doesn't have much of anything written into her yet,
Yeah.
As far as history goes, we only see her as like a internet troll.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking, One or two. Well, one or two things. It's A, Bridget, but years later somehow she survived over the centuries. She's a troll. Maybe she has extra
That
long
would that would
life.
be exactly how we would use it. That would be the best way because then she has like uh, real roots to something else in the book, you know.
Or
But I was
it's
thinking the same thing. What's your or? Yeah.
like a great great granddaughter, and she's taught all her daughters or all her kids how. Well, especially all her daughters, how to sip the males, and this is the latest way to sip the males. Well, she wouldn't. Well, her Bridget wouldn't refer to it as simping because that term didn't exist. But you know what I
Right.
mean.
No, but actually, though, I do like the idea of tying Bridget directly to her, like, because trolls try to hide their real name and everything, and it would be really neat. So I can't have this discussion in live stream, but there's some stuff about Victor Violence that could really play into that well when he confronts her. But I'll share that with you later.
Yeah,
Because that one I can't give out yet because there's a huge little twist at the end. That
yeah.
Miss Diana is still learning to absorb. She's like, "Really? You're going to do what?" And I'm like, "Yep, this is what I'm doing with them."
Well, I
So,
think I know. I think I know already. I won't
yeah,
say on
you probably
stream
have a
now.
clue just by that. But she was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yep, yep, yep." But the way I look at it, Trolls Exposed really, it's underfunding. We still have time, but I'm like, okay, so it's not going to be like some huge hit, and I got that, but it's going to be, delivered fun and fantastic. And
Yeah.
then I have to think about like the next big thing. So I have to finish
Well,
Cyclopean 4 after that, and we have our crossover, but like I'm
yeah.
excited about the future, like the next
Yeah.
project beyond that.
Yeah. We're gonna. Well, I think the Cyclopean Canadian Shield crossover is the next big things. Well, well. Cyclopean 4. Yeah.
Well, Cyclopean
I
4
don't
is
know.
actually it's
Well,
how do I put this? It's in the folder. It just needs to be finished coloring. So
yeah.
that's not going to
I
be a
guess.
big deal. Diana wants that more than I do.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I more mean is the next big thing for you, maybe for you, apart from Cyclopean, because you know, apart from Cyclopean, you don't really have much more going on for characters. So anything in between Cyclopean books is um a whatever um type thing. And not that that's a bad thing. I'm just
Well, no,
it's
that's but there's just so much that I could do. There's a billion ideas, It's like picking one out of the thing. Like honestly, we only have 2 viewers, so I can say this. I probably should not have done a big old troll book. Oh, I lost Rick. But it was still, worth doing. But as far as a business move, I'm pretty sure I could have done something a little different. Nevertheless, I'm not regretting it. It's just, there's got to be a more popular genre there. Um, okay, so we'll give Rick a few minutes. Otherwise, I won't stream much longer. But oh, he's already back. Gosh, the guy didn't even have a real tech issue. He must have just dropped his device. What's up, brother?
well, no. I tried to switch to my camera, but it's tied more to my OBS. So just
That's where
because
mine is. My OBS. Yeah.
because my Clip Studio doesn't seem to be coming up properly, which I usually have something on that. So
Oh,
let's
there
see
it goes.
now. So now it should be my ever loving face.
You're live.
Yeah. The thing I don't
You see
show
my
so
helmet
often.
head? I had my hair slicked back today, right? And I put it in like a baby ponytail because it's there now. But now it looks all weird. Like I have the weird. You can't really see it in the black light. Thank you. Or with the
Yeah.
black background, but it's real weird. But my hair won't move. It's like it's plastic.
Unless, of course, you want to do some cross comics in between.
Well, no.
Cyclopean
So
issue.
One of the things on the back burner that I'm kind of working on soon will be a cover for a sci-fi novel. And
Yeah.
it's really interesting because it was written by a pastor who works out of Virginia, who I've known for like, gosh, way back
Yeah.
when I was just doing Christian videos like a decade ago. And he
Yeah.
contacted me because he's doing this real crazy take on Apocalypse. And he was like, I see you're doing artwork. Maybe you do the cover. But
Oh,
I haven't
cool.
read the story yet. If it's really good, like maybe sometime, like I would think something like that. I would want to take some time. So maybe sometime next year I might have a graphic novel involving that.
Yeah.
But I've never worked with another writer, so that's weird. It's like I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the test case is me writing.
Well, no, because you have knowledge in comic books. He's writing a like a literal novel, so it's like it would have to be adapted and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
but
so it's like a different monster in a way. It's like, ooh, I don't know if I could do. Well, I know I
yeah,
could.
but
I just don't know how well it would be.
see, at that point, I think it would be me. You're getting his permission to make it into a graphic novel, and then you going over it bit by bit and adapting
Well,
it.
we've already discussed that. He's like all for it, but I'm like, yeah, let me see where I'm at.
Yeah,
Because with his stuff, I'm going to do like an oil painting cover. So if I
yeah,
was going to do the whole book, I'd probably want to paint it all, which would be a whole new, like,
yeah. But
ooh.
you can do digital painting,
Oh,
which
that's what I mean. I should be clear. When I say oil paint, I mean, yes, it's going to be digital.
But no, doing the cover for his book, it would be different than like doing the graphic novel for it.
Oh, it's totally different, but I would want to like, that's what I mean. The next big thing to me would be like doing something to challenge myself,
Yeah,
and painting a whole book would be a real challenge. Like, I've seen other artists, we've all seen like, the really good graphic novels where they paint everything out and whatever. And wow, that would be a
well,
challenge.
yeah. Well, that's almost an Alex Ross type thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of who I'm thinking.
I know there's a couple other artists similar to him that do that, but I don't know their name.
I think he's the best. I know who you're talking.
Oh yeah,
Like, I don't know the names either, but I've seen a couple of, photographic style painters.
yeah.
But Alex Ross is the name.
He's the first to do that sort of
Right.
style, but
Right.
to
And he's
me,
good at it.
to me, he's the type of guy that says to DC or Marvel, comes to DC or Marvel and says, "Hey, I want to do this type of story," and they're like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, whatever you need. That's going to sell. We'll do it.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but to me, it would seem he's one of the few artists that could just get away with just simply walking up to them and saying, "Hey, I want to do this story."
Yeah, these days, there aren't very many names I think could do that, Maybe some of the legends. And I'm sure there's a handful of modern artists that they love, but I don't know who they are.
Not even a bunch of the legends, because just think, is it Mike Barron? Isn't he supposed to be a bit of a legend? He really
Well, he's a writer.
But
yeah,
still,
I don't know. I don't know how legendary he's considered by them.
Yeah, well, by the fans, really,
by the fans, he's got a lot of respect. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's more what I mean is because you become legendary more in the fans' eyes because people will most likely buy your stuff. Like if you hear Alex Ross has got a new book out, and there's lots of Alex Ross fans out there, they're almost guaranteed, the sales in good numbers, to make it worth their while.
Yeah, Ross, I bet you Ross has no problem selling. People know his art's there and they're going to be there.
Yeah. And, he probably gets the writer that he wants. And, I know.
Yeah, and I don't doubt he has a little influence over what it's going to be. And, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's probably, I would think he's probably come up with the basic concept of the story or whatever ahead of time. I could be wrong.
Right.
And
But you never know, and it's not like he's got the juice. He's probably very creative,
yeah,
uh, not just in art, but in writing too.
I know he worked. What Kingdom Come was probably one of his more famous projects, and I know he got Mark Waid with him on that. Now, whether Mark Waid was given to him or he chose him, but then again, Mark Waid at one time was, I think, supposed to be legendary. I wouldn't consider him so legendary
I would
anymore.
say he's still legendary, but for all the wrong reasons.
yeah, yeah. But if you use like Mike Barron, he's even become really not so legendary because he does. He's done a few of his own projects and they haven't really sold all that one. I think the latest one, might have has done the best about the cops.
Yeah, I think he's somewhere in the 50,000 range on that one. But he
Yeah,
also got some great exposure on Fox News, which surely helped that.
yeah. But you look at one like Florida Man, which frankly
I
didn't
haven't
do
seen it.
that. I I I don't think it did that well. And I know a friend of mine who was on the project at first and was supposed to actually half own it, but some things went crazy there. And I don't even think that did well. Let me see. Florida. Man, if I spelled Florida right. Let me switch that to Creative Works, Comics.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, it ended up doing 36,000, so I guess it's better than what I thought, but still,
Yeah, it's better than what I do.
it, but it's not as big as you would have thought. And I think, I'm not sure how, with a name like Mike Barron out there, you know, you would think it would do a lot better, at least in the hundreds of thousands. But
Maybe, yeah. It's hard to know because with writers, I don't think they're as recognizable as artists. They're less of rock stars unless they're really like up there.
yeah,
So maybe he's overvalued by the fans like us. I'm not sure. Yeah. Of course, he's famous for the Punisher, and that in itself kind of hurts him right now in the current era.
yeah.
Like, because a lot of people
Well,
are just anti-cop, anti-vigilante, whatever they want to call it.
yeah. Well, they're anti. I would say, well, for a long time, the left was anti-cop, but unfortunately, with some actions of the cops over the last year and a half, even some conservatives have become a little anti-cop or mistrusting of the blue. You know?
Well, I've seen the Blue do some crappy stuff, but I don't know. I know several cops in real life, and they're good guys. Like so.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen the videos of the abuse and stuff, but it's like I also know there's good cops too, and it's like so when politicians turn on them, man, I'm like, guys, they defend you guys, they protect you guys. Like
yeah.
they have no
Well,
idea what they're saying.
yeah. Well, yeah, I get that. Like I'm usually a very good defender of the blue. I know most cops are probably good. To me, cops fall in three basic categories: bad, just doing their job, and extremely good.
Right.
And you have the two extremes. There's there's too many of the bad ones, obviously, because we don't need bad cops. And there's too few of the extremely good ones. But
Yep.
most of them are just doing their job, from day to day. But, unfortunately, a lot of the bad ones, at least here in Canada and in the Australia, have stuck out lately,
Oh yeah,
purely
because of the way
cause,
they just followed orders and yeah.
yeah, and even down
I
in the
I have a
States with
problem with
them
that too.
even like with them all taking the knee to Black Lives Matter, and then when the protests for other stuff comes up that not left wing. They follow the orders, to abuse the people that are actually usually on their side, to where they're really nice towards the ones that aren't usually on their side. It's like, get a brain.
Right.
And that's
Oh
not
my
just
God.
disparage any cops out there. Like I said, for the most part, I usually like cops, and I think a lot of them are doing their jobs, just doing their jobs. I think a lot of them more need to speak up, with all the craziness that's happened over the last couple of years, and just say, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, when they talk about defunding police, I'm like, no, you need to just like reorganize and break down these, old barriers that keep
Yeah.
good cops from stopping bad cops and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing that started this, the George Floyd thing.
The George thing.
Yeah, it's like that could have been stopped by one cop just saying enough, stop,
Yeah.
get off his freaking neck. What's
Yeah,
up, Lorenzo?
well-
Even though I
well-
hear he didn't die from that.
Yeah, he didn't. In fact, the guy was complaining even beforehand, so it wasn't that doing it. And he got off. They put him in the back of the car and all that, and he was still complaining about that. It was
Yeah, maybe they should have done something
yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't think
unfortunately,
the thing is
other than
the knee
putting.
on the neck. I don't think the knee on the neck helps you.
I
Pretty much.
don't think that helped things. If the guy
Yeah.
really was having a heart attack or whatever,
yeah. Well, this is true, but the unfortunate thing is,
ODing on drugs or
and
whatever
it's
the
well,
allegation.
there's that. I was going to say the unfortunate thing is criminals, they say stuff like this for you to back off or whatever, so you let down your guard so they can escape or whatever.
But Rick, this was made more complicated too by the fact that that those guys knew each other. They had worked together as security guards. So
Yeah, well, but no, I'm just
I
saying.
mean, and then they
If
couldn't
you're
stand
gonna-
each other. And this is all over like a fake $20 bill that who knows if Floyd even knew it was a fake $20. Who
Yeah.
probably did, but who knows? I mean, like, guy didn't get his day in court. So it's all odd. And the thing is, that like, had people actually done something about police brutality, I mean, instead of whining about athletes kneeling during football games, we wouldn't have all these riots for months on end. I mean, and I think the kneeling was stupid. Like, it wasn't getting the point across. And I don't think Black Lives Matter is. I don't know. I think it's a decentralized organization, like with different regional things. So I think anybody can call themselves that, or I don't. And then there's a national thing. It's a big mess. I think we need like a unified police brutality, like with some sort of like. We need to make sure that the officers get the proper training that they deserve, quite frankly.
Well, I think
they're being
everybody's
sent in
against.
places where they're not, where some officers might not be trained for their jobs they're doing. They might not be properly trained, Depends on the department, I think.
I think everybody's against, or almost everybody, because the cops say they're committing police brutality or not for not doing it. But most everybody is for not cops not doing brutality on anybody. But unfortunately, there's your few idiots out there, and unfortunately, sometimes when cops rat on each other, it gives them, the other cops give them a bad name, or
Isn't that what the term thin blue line means? I thought that's what thin blue line was about. Was like cops not ratting on each other. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure, but I think you might be right. I can't say you're 100% right, but I think you might be.
Well, I don't think that's what the thin blue line is about.
I mean, the book seems to be just like the exact opposite. It's like the SJW propaganda, but instead of doing that, it's like pro cop propaganda. Which. There's plenty of nice officers. Like there's one that goes on the show, and really nice guy, but I sure hope it doesn't beat people over the head with a message.
Guys,
The Mike Burns book, the artwork looks nice.
Yeah.
guys, I know what we need, but I have to take a copyright strike to do it. But I'm going to share this. Ready?
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's deep. That's what we need, man.
Super Friends.
Great hall of
Yeah,
the
man.
Justice League. There are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes. Created
Oh no way.
dozens of
Can
the
you
Justice
imagine
I
the
hope
Super
you don't
Friends
get in
only being
trouble.
4 heroes?
Hey, was Superman making a Zig Heil there for a second there?
I don't know. It looked like it.
Batman.
Now, they don't
Batman
count
and
Robin there,
Robin.
huh?
And Wonder Woman was here doing her like S&M bondage thing.
Well,
Not
I'm
yet.
just
I
surprised
don't know. Maybe,
Aquaman
yeah.
made it into the 4 greatest
Speed Junior
superheroes.
Super Friends. Wendy, Marvin, and Wonder Dog.
All right, where's the... There it is.
Wonder Dog.
Their mission to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Was that the?
Do you remember when the
was that in
rainbow represented
70s?
superheroes? Guys,
No,
do you remember when
I
the
re-
rainbow
I- I re-
represented superheroes?
No, I remember when the rainbow represented God's promise to never flood the world again.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
An
yeah,
episode started playing.
I was gonna say that's really worked out for the people, but I couldn't think of the region. Like I think Louisiana like floods all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, he said the world, the
Yeah.
whole world, not just. He never said he wouldn't flood specific little places. He just
I
said the
thought
whole
he lived in
world.
Louisiana.
Yeah, you got a point there.
For
He
a
did say the whole
short
world.
time when I was at like, I was gonna say a hatchling, but it was a little older than that. But I was in kindergarten, so
When you learned about what? The flood?
no. In a way, when I lived near the bayou down in Louisiana, like I lived in the like Cajun region. I didn't live like right on the bayou, but I do think there were occasionally like alligators in people's yards and stuff.
Well, you do know the Cajuns came from Canada, right?
Yeah, you guys kicked them
I didn't
out.
know that.
Yeah, they were.
But I do know that in Florida they have gators.
Well,
used to have
the
gators in backyards.
Acadians settled in, and so they were from Acadia. Where was that? Was it like near like Nova Scotia or
Yeah, somewhere up there.
New
around there.
Brunswick?
Well, probably somewhere in the province of what is now Quebec.
Well, I think
'Cause
they.
they would've
Well,
been
I don't know.
French-
Some,
they
I
would've
think
been
they were.
French Canadian.
I think Acadiana was up like in the places where
I
the
don't
other
know,
French
that-
people are in Canada. Like,
Well, there's some in New Brunswick. Quite a few there from when I.
So
hear.
how did Canadians get to France and invade over there? Because obviously French was spoken in Canada first, right?
well, it was the French colonized quite a bit of the world.
No, I was teasing because Canadians pop up like all over the place. Like
Yeah.
they actually did this and that, and like
Oh
I
yeah,
know
that's
they
true.
invaded,
That's
like,
true. It was actually
BC once or something
it was
like that.
actually like
Didn't
the
they burn
French
down
and
the
the
White
British.
House?
Yeah.
Well, they probably went over and took the crown too. They say that it's the Queen of England, but she's really the Queen of Canada.
Yeah. Well, she is as well, isn't she? Isn't she the queen of the?
Yes, but we know
yes.
which one she likes more. She just doesn't
she's
come over
the
here.
queen.
'Cause she
She's
doesn't.
queen of the
But she
like
doesn't
the,
like
like
us
the
more.
entire
She
United
doesn't-
Kingdom and the Commonwealth. I think.
She
Yeah,
does exactly. She does exactly what she does for the UK. Nothing.
So I'm
She-
looking at
she doesn't
Acadiana,
use-
but that's Cajun country, French Louisiana region.
Yeah, she doesn't use her influence or power to de-enact laws and all that to make things better for the people. She just lets the Parliaments do whatever, and who cares? She's rich, right? She's not going to be affected.
Well, she's super old. We don't know what's left of her head. She could be like being told all sorts of pretty stories, you know. Yes, now
Yeah, there's
today,
that
Mr.
too.
Biden saved the
Well,
world again.
isn't her main job like ceremonial, like because like I know George W. Bush went and kind of got himself into like not too much trouble, but kind of well, he did get himself in a lot of trouble, but like when he would meet up with foreign leaders, he'd do like silly dances and stuff, and I heard it explained that in some country in the Commonwealth and the UK that the Queen does a lot of the ceremonial stuff.
Yeah.
So
At
she
least in
does
the
like
UK,
celebration
I
dances.
don't know how much she does for like Canada, but like I know in the UK she'll meet
Are
up
these
with like
are these pole
foreign
dances or are they
dignitaries.
like just rain dances? What kind of dance does she do?
I'm not sure,
No,
but
no,
she does
no.
like she might like she'll meet up with she'll do the more
No,
ceremonial stuff
no.
while the prime minister's doing the actual like
Pole dance.
like
Yes.
invading
No, no,
countries or whatever the
no,
prime minister does.
no. Lorenzo said Bush did the dances. The Queen just
Oh,
does some ceremonial stuff. She stays away from the dances.
But like,
well, I've
but then
I've
with
seen Bush
Justin
do the pole
Trudeau, it
dance.
seems like Trudeau does some ceremonial stuff, even though he's the prime
Oh no,
minister. Like he goes and he dresses and I was almost gonna say drag, but like
blackface.
and
Well,
different blackface and
he he's
like
like Bush. He does the dances
India like
too.
garb for the whatever clothes they wear in India.
Yeah. He's
Isn't it
like
strange?
Bush.
I've seen pictures of everything you just mentioned.
He's done that like before he was prime minister, and then when he was prime minister,
Yeah.
he did
Well,
a little more tastefully.
yeah, like I said, he's like Bush. He likes to do the dances too.
Well, I have to tell you,
Yeah,
I
well,
saw
you
But
know,
he actually goes further than Bush. He dresses up.
yeah, shouldn't the
Yeah,
queen be doing those types of things
he
though? I mean, ideally,
Well, I'm not sure
or
whether
she
you
break a
guys
hip,
have ever
or
heard. I'm not sure whether you guys have ever heard of this thing, but he thinks he's Mr. Dress Up.
yeah.
yes.
Well, I
But
know that there
he's
used to
very
be a show in
intelligent.
Out of Canada called Mister Dress Up, so maybe that was an influence on him.
But did you ever hear him talk about China
Oh
and how
yes,
he was
that's it.
envious of their system because they were able to respond and react quicker because they're, communist country.
Yeah, yeah, I heard all
I,
about that, and that's like,
I
oh
almost
god,
fell over when I heard that. I was like, even if you think that, dude, you should never say that in a democratic government.
Yeah,
What the
it's
hell?
probably
yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, from what I know, he said that before he was prime minister, and he still got elected prime minister.
Well, I think, and don't quote me on this because I get stuff wrong all the time, but I think the left is having an issue with the center. I think the center is pulling away from the left because the left has gone so extreme. Because I was an independent voter 10 years ago, and I have to admit, the closer we got to today, the more right I've become, even though I still consider myself an independent. I don't like a lot of Republican positions, but the
Yeah.
Democrats have picked a lot of stuff that, as a believer in God, I'm like, okay, I just can't. And there's too many I just can'ts anymore, like it
yeah. I
used to
don't
be
see
just
much
abortion.
left wing going on though.
Oh,
So I
I
guess,
see it everywhere, bro.
no,
What do you call
I'm
left wing,
seeing. I
though?
don't see the. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
See, the Democrats have invented a new wing. It's called the crazy wing.
Yeah, I see a lot of crazy stuff going on, but I don't see it as being all that far to the left. Like since when is supporting Wall Street like a left wing ideal?
Well,
I
that's not.
mean,
You mean like the way they're sucking up to certain corporations?
yeah,
Yeah, that is very not left and very weird because maybe
that's
the
what I
better
meant.
term is the woke. Like maybe left
Well,
should be thought of like what left used to mean, where it was liberal, but it wasn't like bat crazy.
well,
Like
that's what I
now they're
said.
like,
Man.
well,
That's what I
tonight
said.
George, for
They
instance, covered they covered some of the cabinet that Biden has, and I'm sorry, like no matter how
Yeah,
you feel about anything, that looked crazy, and that's the truth. It's like, okay, he's got a bald guy in a dress, he's got a man in a wig. Well, it's probably real hair. I'm not very respectful of that guy, the medical. guy. And I'm just like, the whole cabinet looks silly. It just looks
Well,
like it looks like the Joker's in charge of the country.
so the trans individual, I'd be polite and refer to the person as
I do too.
she. But the
I-
thing is, I don't
Well-
I don't know what her qualifications are, other than like she's a pediatrician or something. I mean, like, but like is she the best person for the job?
Well, Chris,
I don't know.
I have to tell you, I think you insulted the Joker.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I already noticed there's a playing card on my window now. I'm in trouble.
If this
Somebody
is the
must
very
run
best
some
person
stuff
for the
there.
job, then I support her. However, it
Parker-
doesn't seem like Biden's necessarily always getting the best people. And
Well,
I'm not saying
as we know,
I'm
I
not saying it
understand
because of so whether it doesn't matter to me if somebody's trans or whatever. It's just I don't think these people. I don't think Biden. I don't think Trump was hiring competent. I don't think any of the presidents in my lifetime hired competent people. I don't think. I don't think
Yeah,
that was.
you know what?
I mean, maybe some of the
It is-
people they
it is a
hired were
rough
competent,
sell.
but
No, you're right. It's a rough sell. When you look at the cabinets,
yeah.
now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Their cabinets are always freaking crazy.
They typically
This one's
are
just more visual.
pro-war on foreign policy. Like it's like it's almost like they never saw a war they didn't like.
Well, I love America. I was born here. I will always support my country. But at the top, at the political spectrum, they all say they don't want war, but then they all do stuff that seems to be warlike and encouraging of war. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's like they all have some weird position where I'm like,
they represent the large corporations, and once they're done in political office, they just go on and over and like how much like the Clintons went around giving all these speeches for like Hillary was
outrageous sums.
for whatever Chase Bank or whatever, and then of course Trump was said to be tied in with the same bank. So I mean, like.
Well, I mean, if we can be honest,
he was the
about
one
Trump,
that the establishment didn't like because he was different, but he still was doing a lot of the same stuff.
the thing about Trump that made him successful with his backers or with his followers or whatever you want to call them is he was willing to say and do the stuff that they wanted to hear. Nobody like on the right, I think, well, that's not true. Not nobody, but most people on the right don't even think about the crazy stuff that Trump was doing. Like, it's funny when I hear Christians on the right get all like sanctimonious about him because he's very woke, for instance, when it comes to sexuality. He's a pro LGBTQA type kind of guy. He's, or at least he was. I don't know how he stands with things now.
Yeah, I think he banned the trans people from the military.
I was about to say, I
this
think
was
he had
after him saying, well, Caitlyn Jenner can use whatever bathroom. And I think
Well, you know what's weird though? Can I be honest with
which
you?
to use.
I don't think trans has any business being in the LGBTQ thing. Trans is a whole nother issue that they need to like address separately because I was having this conversation earlier today. You know, gay people, they're still they don't have gender doubt, they just have gender attraction differences. Whereas a trans person, it's a totally different, you know what I mean? Like they're not just looking at the opposite sex and being attracted. In fact, some of them, like I've known guys that are trans to women and then call themselves lesbians. And I'm like, but that's their, that's their thing.
Like, I'm not like a neurologist or anything. I don't know what's psychiatrist or anything. I don't not quite understand all these issues. But isn't it kind of interesting how like the both parties have us focus on this issue? Like that, and I'm trans. Trans rights are important, but what trans and the rights of everybody. But like at the same time, well, the Wall Street's like We had like the massive transference of wealth to like Wall Street with that CARES Act, where we got like a little tiny stimulus check for the average person, maybe like I think it was like $1,000. Meanwhile, I think Wall Street was being bailed out by, was it like billions of dollars per day, or was it trillions?
Well, the one thing too, I was going to say about I think the trans thing. It's not the government putting the focus on them. It's the media. It's what the media thinks they want the issue to be, or what these lobbyist groups want the issue to be. They get the media to focus on that, and instead of focusing,
they didn't want to focus on like the pandemic and all these small businesses that were forced to shut down, or like that one restaurant that had to shut down, and even though it had an outdoor pavilion, it was in California, and right next to a pavilion around the same size was being built for a movie set.
And
they didn't want to focus on that.
The thing with the thing that shall not be named because of YouTube is with the locks that were down, most of it with when it came to restaurants, they could prove that it wasn't, there was no transference coming from those places, or it was like so minute that it wasn't funny. Yet we'll lock the restaurants down and let them go out of business.
Well, you know what I think,
though? I kept hearing them happening at bars, but the outdoor establishment, if it was an outdoor establishment in open air, then I think it's supposedly significantly reduced, according to
I think the big thing with COVID,
one particular month probably, but who knows?
But seriously, the big thing with the C word wasn't, it was that they were trying to control it in such a way that they could starve it out. Like maybe if we just everybody sit still and don't do anything. I don't know about your states or your countries, but in my state, they had this thing for essential workers. But essential workers were people like, I know print shops that were open because they had fax machines that were essential for people to communicate. But they really weren't. But yet that's what was classified.
The dispensaries were open, but not the bong shop, but not the head shops where you could buy the bong or pipe or whatever. It was weird.
Yeah.
As some signs I wrote, we are all essential. We are all essential because we all need to live, right? We all need to make a living, and each of us does that a different way.
Well, to me, essential should have been like, okay, you have your emergency responders and you have your utility people, electricity, plumbing and stuff. Pretty much everything else should be like very low key, but yet then they go, well, we need food for stores. So now you have employees going in and you have delivery trucks. And before you know it, the only people staying home are the people who are going to stay home anyways. Everybody else has found a reason to be out and doing their stuff. And like in America, or at least in Massachusetts, I'm like, this isn't the quarantine everybody thinks it is. It's not the lockdown everybody thinks it is.
Yeah. Well, there's also the fact that, like everybody needs a job to make, like I said, make money, unless everybody's going to get a stimulus check for, $2,000 or $3,000 every month from the
Did they do that in Canada or what? How did they?
Yeah.
Did they have like a payroll replacement plan or?
Yeah, we had that. I think if you qualified, it was like $2,000 up to $2,000 a month or something like that. I don't know because I tried to call. I called it once. I knew I didn't qualify, and I'm like, okay. And then before I called it, before I called it, I pretty much knew I wasn't going to qualify. But a couple people suggested, and I didn't want to be dishonest or anything about anything. And I'm sure there's lots of people that were and got that $2,000 a month or whatever.
Right.
But
I'm sure
that
in
America you didn't even receive anything. Most of the, for most people, the airport employees did, but most Americans didn't receive anything except for like $1,000 check or something.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But, we got some of those too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say, But everybody is technically an essential worker because if you don't get paid, you can't buy groceries, which means
Yep.
which means the grocery stores go out of business, or you can't buy whatever items.
Yeah, that's
From
kind of what
Walmart.
I meant because they called this essential worker thing, and then it turned out almost anybody was essential. Because once you
Yeah,
got down to it, like, okay, well, you got to open the gas stations because you need gas to get to the store to get to the food that you need to live, and it
But a
yeah.
just
lot of
became like
places shut
almost a
down.
joke.
But like the comic book
But
shop had to shut down because that
Yep.
wasn't essential. And
yeah, because
like,
that's not essential. Oh, but the guy who owned and run it, like it's essential to him for his livelihood.
Okay, so here's one I
Uh,
heard about, and I can't confirm it, but and I'm not sure which state it was in, but one of the states had it to where you couldn't go to church, but they still had strip clubs open. They still had
oh
bars
yeah.
open.
oh wow,
Oh, we
I
had
think it
stuff
might have
like
been New
that.
York.
I think we had stuff like that here too.
Yeah, it
Canada.
was
it
outrageous.
sounded like
You
Canada
can't
was
go to
really
church,
bad.
Lorenzo. You can't go to
Oh,
church, but you can go watch a woman strip in a bar, which is probably even less ventilated than a church. I give them that. Yes,
Maybe
churches were
like what if there's like a sermon?
well. The yeah, the
What if
big
the
thing about the
stripper gives a
churches,
sermon?
hey,
but
hey,
the big thing
hey!
about the
If there's
churches was supposed to be the
I don't
singing.
know.
hey,
Because when you're
hey,
singing, you're blowing your breath further and stuff. So that was
hey,
their justification. They were like, if you sing, you're going to kill each other. So no, you can't go to church.
actually, I think it's more better to sing because then, yeah, it goes further, but that means it gets more ventilated. It dissipates more the further it goes,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I've
Yeah,
always
Yeah,
been a
that's
believer they
true
should have
about
just
that.
let this thing run its course, as horrible as that sounds.
yeah,
But
but I don't.
everything they've
I think
done,
if they would have just run its course, it would have been about the same. I don't think the stats would have been much different. In
I think it
fact,
would have been
if
the
you
same, but it would have been squished into the shorter period of time, and that's where we would have
well,
had issues, but it would have been like sooner to deal with. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
I think the
think
problem
if
is with
I,
globalization.
I think if you look,
You can't really, and travel and stuff. You can't really shut this thing down because you're gonna have
yeah.
to like even getting the mail from other countries.
yeah.
There's gonna be
Well,
people
this
But
coming
is
and
kind of
going, even if it's just
I could be wrong about the country, but
mailmen.
I could be wrong about the country, but I think it was Sweden. It could be in a different country, so you can correct me on that if you can find the correct country if it wasn't Sweden. But they didn't do anything. They just let it run its course. And guess what? If you go look at their numbers for the same time period, it's all about the same.
I think a lot of
Minute,
well,
old people
if
died in
it's different,
Sweden.
it's minute differences.
Well, I think a lot of the old people were dying when they had because
Yeah,
the
it affected more. That's what this thing did. It affected old people. Yeah,
yeah,
it
but I'm saying
affected
they
some
might have
younger
died
people, but
more. Might have been more old people on average dying, but there was also. But the problem is when there were lockdowns, though. There's a lot of like suicides and stuff. So yeah,
yeah, that too.
reportedly, I'll say because
Well, no.
I can't.
Well,
I'll say
here in
reportedly
Canada,
because I can't prove anything. And like
well,
one thing I read
well,
in the newspaper one day will be contradicted the next day.
well, here in Canada, there's stuff to prove that stuff already. They for their statistics and all that. I don't know where it is, but I know it's out there to prove it. That all this stuff went up, and all that.
Yeah,
Like
I'm just saying
suicides,
reportedly
drug use,
because
domestic
it might be,
abuse.
but because something that's out there one day might be retracted. That's what happened with Joe Rogan. Is he actually cited, I think, the Guardian, which is Labor Party associated or like pro Labor Party. I think liberal newspaper out of the UK, and
Yeah,
they had some sort of, I think it was some sort of study they had published, and then either the article or the study was retracted, and then that was used
yeah,
to go
yeah.
after
But
him,
in
even though
that
he was
case,
using liberal source and
yeah. But then the question is, why was it retracted? Because there's. I hate to be a conspiracy theorist on this, but it's been proven that a lot of times these things were retracted because it didn't want to go with the narrative that the
I don't know.
media
I think
or
I
the
think
government
I
wanted
think
to
there
spin.
it looks like there's a lot. There are quite a bit of studies that were like, I don't know if they were hastily conducted, but like there, it's really hard to get any sort of accurate information about this
Yeah.
illness. Because because the information on all sides seems to be pretty. I don't know if it's rushed or what the deal is.
Well,
I think it
you
can
might
take
want to
maybe
say the
years and
word.
years to get like accurate info on something. Like a lot of diseases have been around for decades, and this is something brand new. So maybe that's the issue.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's
the
part of it.
disease.
There's
The
been all sorts of inconsistencies just in the way they counted some things, and like they won't really know what happened probably for 15, 20 years. They'll have numbers, but
Yeah,
they'll get more accurate as they
I think
go, and
that's possible.
they have
Yeah.
to granulate it up and stuff. And but
Yeah.
I
Once
think
they get through all
mostly
the red tape.
right. But I think mostly everything you hear in the conspiracy theories lately, and this is a meme as well, is just prophecy coming true. People are telling us what's going to happen, and then 5, 10 years later, it's popping up. It's exactly what we heard,
Yeah. Well,
and that's
heck,
kind of
even stuff.
scary because I've heard a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, even stuff, like 5-10 months ago that some of the some people were saying, about
Well,
some stuff.
yeah, but actually, I was just saying that because
like
I saw this Alex Jones clip from like 2015, and
Yeah.
yes, I know he's insane, but he literally laid out a scenario that sounded just like what just happened with COVID.
Yeah.
And
The
I'm
problem
sure,
with Jonas, he says so
Alex,
many things
yeah,
Alex isn't
that
kind of
that he's
insane
eventually
into
going
his thing.
to stumble upon something correct. Because
that's Lorenzo. You're right because let's face it, if aliens came tomorrow and made a deal with the UN, I bet you he's said it somewhere in the past 10 years. You could find him on radio going, "I'm telling you, the aliens are coming and they're going to eat you. They're going to
yeah, I
eat
was
you
at
all."
an airport before after he had made some prediction that the U.S. was going to, stage some sort of like the U.S. government was going to stage some sort of 9/11 type thing, and I was terrified when I was at that. It turned out nothing happened, but it's the people don't tend to remember the misses when people make like failed
No,
prophecies.
Alex
Because there's a
Jones.
lot of religious organizations that have done that too.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. But Alex Jones got me with the whole skull. What the hell was the name of the Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
George Bush was a member of it, and
Oh
another guy
John
that talks
Kerry, and they
about
were both running against each other for president.
yeah,
another guy that talks about that a little bit and more stuff like that some off and on is Mark Dice. I'm not sure whether you ever heard of him, Chris.
what's the name?
Mark Dice.
Huh?
Is he Canadian?
Nice play.
No, he's American. He's actually
I
lives
don't-
up in California.
Yeah, I don't think I know him yet.
Yeah, he's pretty good. You would like him, I'm pretty sure.
Speaking of I have to give a plug for somebody on our very small show, but Eric was awesome. Eric is such a good interviewer. That guy must have more talent in one finger than I've had in my whole life. He carried us the other day through
What
that
was this?
interview.
Yesterday. Well,
Yes. What was his name?
Friday.
What's his last name again?
Eric Ninatowski.
Ninatowski. Thank you. I will get that right someday. But yeah, we were on his show.
I'm not sure I was even aware of this.
Oh yeah. Well,
Eric
we
Ninatowski, yeah, I think you know him. He did the art.
No, the interview. I don't have any clue what you guys are talking about.
Oh, we were on his show on Friday afternoon at 5 p.m.
yes.
Did you guys actually promote this?
Well, I shared it, but I didn't promote it. It was fun though. I'm telling you, this guy.
Yeah,
is awesome.
but it would have been good if I had known about it. I
would have promoted it.
I know, bro.
Yeah, well, hopefully would have.
Lorenzo, you should.
I guess I was a bit sick. I've been a bit sick the last couple days.
Yeah. And hello,
but
Miss
you
Rena.
are like
How
a
are
great
you?
I might
promoter,
not.
bro.
I might not have even been awake.
Miss Rena is in the chat, guys.
Oh, hey, Miss Rena.
Hey, Miss Rena. I don't have my chat up. That's why I didn't see you. But hey, how are you?
Well, I've got it up. I almost always have my chat up, no matter what.
I know
channel
she postponed the launch, but it's coming. I believe it's in 2 or 3
a
days
week
now.
later. Just a week
Yeah.
later.
But I think she's only got 2 or 3 days left, and then it's launching again. Like after, it's going to be a week, right?
What day are you launching, Miss Rena? We can't remember offhand.
Yeah, we're all like, tisms.
We're tisms.
Yes. I bet you she's not even there. We're probably talking to just a tweet, or not a tweet, a message she put up. And she was like, yeah, these guys are lame.
It was launching Saturday, May 7th, she says.
Woohoo! Okay. Well, let us know if it's on Bancroft or not. We'll be sure to watch.
So basically, next Saturday she's launching on Bancroft.
It's going to be exciting.
On Bancroft's channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Is Bancroft like promoting more like actual like small comic book campaigns than EVS these days?
Probably.
I honestly
it seems
don't
to be
know.
the show that people go to now. Where it's like.
Have you guys got on Bancroft for trolls?
No, I've never even spoken with Mr. Bancroft. I've seen his stream a couple of times, and you know what I mean. I'm not the strongest at reaching out and doing that kind of stuff. Like,
I've heard that's a good place to launch one's campaign.
Well, maybe get your wife to reach out to him, see whether you guys can get on in the next, 20 days.
It's possible. I'll ask her.
Yeah, because might have been Wise Guys Entertainment who was saying that to someone, but that seemed like, then somebody else, I think a lot of other people have talked about I hear Bancroft mentioned a lot.
So I hear Bancroft a lot. I've heard Bancroft. Go ahead. I was going to say I've heard Bancroft bump a lot. The Bancroft bump.
So that might be what yeah. I would imagine opening on a stream would be a good idea, but there's also, I think there's a bunch of ways to promote one's comic too that you guys are probably not.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest,
Miss Rena says it's a good place to launch for first-time campaigners. You can reach Bancroft on Twitter. Warning: he takes a long time to respond. So, yeah, probably be a good idea to reach out to him today or tomorrow. But the latest. I know what I was going to say. I know probably in June, the beginning of June, I'm going to start reaching out to a lot of people for, after the 24th, 25th and on, can I get on your show? I've got this comic out, I'm going to probably reach as many people as I can to, get on their shows and let them know I've got this going on, I'm going to launch on my channel, of course, for it. But then, wait
a second. Why do you say of course? So, because I just mentioned that a lot of people go on say Bancroft or some bigger channel.
Yeah. Well, I say of course, launching across comics for my stuff, I'm not going to go somewhere else to launch,
But why not? Why not if you get a big bump if you go on a certain. Well, I don't know. I think you're still going to have to put in the work, though. Obviously, it's not like these guys. Even if you went on Ethan's channel, which I think I did see you on Ethan's channel once before, and then Ethan privated it. But even if you go on a big channel, you really do need to.
Couple times. Oh, as I said,
a lot of
Lorenzo, if you remember just a couple of seconds ago, I said at the beginning of June I'm going to be reaching out to almost anybody and everybody that I can think of.
yeah,
On their
but
channel.
I thought people were supposed to do their launch party on like one of these bigger. I don't know. I'm not like.
Well, you don't. Nobody says you have to.
No, no. I
just
just thought you do better. I just thought campaigns do better if they did. You know.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm.
Well, Miss Rena, I don't think has a channel. I could be wrong, and sorry if I am, Miss Rena. But I think I owe it to my subscribers and those that have been watching me all the time to launch on my channel. I'm not a super big channel, but I think I figure I owe it to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's your decision. You could.
But
if
it's
you
not.
wanted to, you could do like a poll or whatever and see. I don't. What your viewers actually think. Like, if it would be terrible offense to them if you went on a different channel, you definitely wouldn't want to do that.
I don't think anybody would be offended if I went on another channel to launch. Heck, I could launch on Dillard's and probably get better than what I get on mine. But I just figure I owe it to my subscribers to launch there, and I'm going to be on all these shows anyway, so I don't think it matters a lot.
Yeah, I have no clue. I'm just like parodying something like a
Well,
parody.
Miss Rena brought up a good point, and this is something a lot of people believe. And I can tell you this: I was asked to be, to launch on certain channels too, and I've always done it on my channel as well. But unlike Rick, for me, it's more just out of like I want to build my brand, so that's where I don't have enough followers to worry about it. I'm like, I just want to get this brand built. If the show is big enough, though. But if it was big enough, I would consider it. But like the show that I was invited to launch the last campaign on was no more viewers than mine, maybe twice as many. And I was like, yeah, that's not enough. I'm going to do it on mine. Why give away that moment for the channel to another small channel? Now, obviously, EBS or even Bancroft or anybody with, even a 4 number viewership per stream would be much stronger than my, if I'm having a strong night, I have 12 viewers on, it's like not 12,000, that's 12.
Yeah. Well, the other channel I had 24.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's very helpful to launch on a large channel. I don't have a channel, so I was right with that. I almost launched my campaign on a small channel, and someone told me that it would have killed my campaign. I wouldn't say it would have killed your campaign. I can't say it would have helped or killed. It just would have been what it was.
Well, the other thing is though, if you're starting a race, you would love to get off to as big of a start as you can.
Yeah.
So I get the desire to do that, but either way, what happens is, well, I guess if you go on a small channel, you're working to catch up to where you would have been if you got that boost. And then you're still trying to get to whatever goals, stretch goals and things you want to do. But I know in my heart, when Rick says like, yeah, I want to launch on my channel, I feel that too. I just have to have a big enough, there has to be a big enough reason to go to a different channel. Like it can't just be, I don't know. If it's about the same as what you're going to do anyways, you might as well do it anyways,
Well, well, the thing is, it was nice of that channel to offer, though. But
yeah, that's true. It's always nice to be offered.
It wasn't. Did you end up going on there afterwards?
Honestly, no. After that, I ended up having a huge fallout with the channel.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's a different story.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've already heard that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No sense in singing that song again. It's a new season.
Yeah. So that might not have really. Yeah, I don't know if that would really help.
No, I have to be honest.
Because
I've learned a few lessons this week.
Not getting along. That would have been detrimental. Probably.
Hey, did you notice that Christos or Chris T or whatever that other handle I use has been dead all day? I got banned for a second time in 1 week on Twitter. This time it was
wow.
for a whole week. And it's every time I get involved in gender-based conversations.
Yeah,
They're
it's not really all
super
that
sensitive.
productive.
No, they're
Yeah,
super
it's one
sensitive.
thing that, and it's
So like
I'd
I just
say
said something I thought was quite reasonable, but apparently Twitter didn't. So I
well, the
don't
thing is,
fight with them when they.
yeah, it's one of those conversations that I think is highly nuanced too. And like Twitter's like
Yes.
the worst place to have those types of conversations.
Well,
Well, like if
hopefully
you
that.
mix mental illness into your discussion on it at all, it's almost an immediate ban, or at least for me, it has been.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully,
I personally don't necessarily recommend those conversations. It's up to you. I mean,
I
on
love those
Twitter,
conversations,
well,
but the
places.
problem is, like, I'm not abusive or hateful, but the problem is everybody is so triggered by that stuff that like there is no room to have that conversation, you know?
Well,
So
it's
it's
not.
like,
What's
okay,
the problem with Twitter is that there's a character limit, and you can't really express any.
yes,
It's
that
like
is a
really
tough
hard
part.
to
yeah.
express one's thoughts because then you might have to break it into like a part 2 tweet that hardly anybody's gonna read anyway, or they're gonna start. It's gonna split off, and people are gonna start responding to multiple tweets and multiple
Well, and
locations.
yeah, that is part of the problem with it. And
Yeah. Well,
like,
hopefully in
okay,
the
so the
near
last time
future.
I got banned, it was totally not even my fault. Like I was quoting someone else, and that's the part they took offense to. I won't repeat it because I don't want to get banned from Twitter or from YouTube as well. But it was pretty much like very innocent, and I got a ban, and I started laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like so sensitive. And then
Yeah.
this last one, I was surprised, but not as surprised. But it's for a week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was gonna say, hopefully in the near future, with a certain somebody taking over Twitter, that won't be a problem.
Oh yeah, well, It's not a
Yeah,
problem for me now.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that because
Yeah. Well, I said hopefully. The key
yeah,
word
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's hard to tell what's going to go on with
and
him.
although Chris sort of responded in the chat, I was going to read that. And Miss Rena also said it's not a good idea to launch on a small channel if you're a first-time campaigner. Well, possibly true. If it's the only place you've got to launch, it's better than no place.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I don't know if launching on YouTube is even a wise idea for. I think it all depends on the create. The like how
It's going
much
to
is
depend on
YouTube
your audience.
helping and how much is
Well,
YouTube harming along. I think I say this as somebody who promotes comic books on my channel. I hate saying that, but it's like I think it's a useful tool, but I think that there's like
yeah, but
there could be other
depending.
things like maybe like advertising. Like some people are placing ads in Alterna comics. I wonder if they're gonna, that's what Rex is doing. It should be interesting to see if it helps.
Yeah, I would
Splits
like
an
to
end
see
demand
that.
now, or if
But
it
I would
doesn't
say,
generate sales.
but I would say, Lorenzo, it's better to come on and anybody's program to launch your thing than not go on anywhere and promote it. You need to get out there.
Well, I'm not sure about anyone because like if you go on and like some drama stream or something, and then somebody has a falling out with somebody else,
Or
Yeah,
wait,
but
it wasn't a
that's the
launch.
problem that's going on with.
I got to tell you guys something though. It wasn't a launch show, but once I think it was Cyclopean 3. Diana scheduled us on this late night like stream for comics, and it was all sex comics, and we were like, yeah, we
Oh
have
yeah,
Cyclopean. It's a all ages comic, but like the one next to me was like a porn mag comic, and the one above me was one of the cosplay lady. I think it was
Lady
that chick
Alchemy.
the AZ cosplayer. She does Power Girl.
Okay.
yeah. You would have been better off with Clusterfudge. Clusterfudge
Yes,
would have made sense.
yes,
Yeah, but
that
can
would have
you get
fit.
some good stuff from that channel? Like some good sales, or
I
do you
think we
remember?
did actually get sales off of that, but it was still weird because it's like I know everybody else is in a G-string, but I'm wearing tighty whities, and yes.
In that case,
Yeah.
there could be people watching and like, oh, there's finally an all ages comic, and that could have
Finally
actually,
something I
for
can
all I
give my
know,
kid.
done you some good being on there. And that could,
Yeah, because you are so different from the rest there, you sort of like you
It made
shine.
it bet, yeah. Oh lordy. Hey guys, I've been going for like almost an hour and a half. Actually almost an hour because I did play like a 15-minute beginner there. I gotta go lay down because really I got family coming tomorrow for the birthday celebration. But yeah.
oh, happy birthday!
Oh yeah,
Thank
happy
you.
birthday. Also, Chris, when would you like to get together to, talk about the possible connection?
Oh, that's definitely gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know. Sometime tomorrow I'll hook up with you, hopefully.
Okay.
I know the cookout is supposed to start at 2 and it's going to be done about 4 because I'm not a very big cookout guy.
Yeah.
So I'll DM
Yeah.
you, man, and we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, I'll be free anytime after 4 because I'm going to be doing a show with Hillel for the
So
going through Genesis.
yes. I have a question though. Do you plan on using Brigetta after Trolls Explode? Trolls Explode?
Trolls explode.
I'll tell you
That'd be
why
an
I said
awesome
that in a
show.
second. After Trolls Exposed?
I could or couldn't.
So I won't kill her then. Because one of the things I was going to do to Trisha, which is the current, the name of the I was going to have her like dead.
Well, if I did anything with Bridget more, it would be back in the time that she is in already.
So would it be okay? Well, I could kill her and she could come back.
Yeah, well, if you kill her, you're killing her in the future, so it doesn't matter.
Right, but I mean, if you all of a sudden wanted to do her like in 2021 or so, or wanted to move her up,
I can't see me wanting to do her then because, like I said, I put her in the fantasy world that I had created that I might do something with one day, and if I do something with it one day, she might be involved somewhere in there. I don't know.
Sweet. All right, so listen, anybody watching this, I'm not killing Trisha. That wasn't a spoiler. Don't worry.
So
kill Trisha. Kill Trisha.
With
Kill
trolls,
Trisha.
don't they come back to life if you kill them?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I like to explore.
Like that Jesus guy.
Similar, but
trolled everybody, came back to life.
But the thing in my little imagination, the trolls are very long lived.
Yeah.
And to kill them, there's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do. Like you can leave them dead, but that doesn't mean they're dead. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So like they're still going to regenerate and come back unless you do some catastrophic stuff. The most interesting ones, though.
Jesus trolling.
Yeah, I ignored the whole Jesus thing and tried to move on because I'm like, hey, it's Sunday, man. Jesus might be watching.
Wouldn't that be the ultimate troll, though? Like everybody's we're gonna kill.
Yes, it would be horrible. Like, oh my God, my book would be so tanked. Like that would be an Antichrist book. Hey, Jesus was just no. I'm not even going to say it. I'm sorry, Lord. But yes, I know what you're saying.
But isn't that kind of like what happened? Is they thought they could like kill off Jesus and they couldn't kill him off.
Yeah, he still came back.
Yeah, I mean, like
Jesus came back.
But not only that, he conquers death.
Well, yes. I was going to say Jesus came back the very next day, but it was a couple more days than that.
Well, he had to free all those prisoners.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, and the cat came back the very next day.
So, nope, wrong song.
Jesus.
Could you imagine, like when the gospel says that there was an earthquake? Could you imagine like people coming back from the graves and like, hey, where's my shit? You know, where'd you put all my stuff? You know?
Well, didn't they do that? It doesn't Matthew say that? Matthew, or it's either Matthew or Luke. I think it's Matthew says the dead rose.
Yeah, well, when he rose. So
one of the gospels, not the other one.
The third day with him.
Ah, man, look who's showing up just as I'm trying to close. What's up, brother?
Not much.
Mikey!
I just happened to go through my my notifications, saw that you were streaming, so I thought pop in and say hi.
Yeah, I would have been on a lot earlier, but first I watched you and RJ, and then I had Mr. Moto going on, and then I found out George does a show at like 11. So I watched it.
I was
It
burned out after Mr. Moto, and that's why I didn't even go on your show for a while. As I was just trying to recuperate from. It takes a lot out of me streaming, and
well, you were actually on the panel with Moto, right?
Yeah. But I think I might have shown up like a half hour late to that, and then showed up late to the other show and didn't even go on the panel for George's second show. He streams like all day long, I'd swear. Well, not all day long, but like periodically through the day with the court case.
Well, I got to talk to him because I'm trying to put together the streaming guide, and I'm not sure is he nightly with his Adventure Time and the cinema stream only on Saturdays, right?
Yeah, he's got the movie nights. Yeah. I think he's got a movie on Friday and Saturday. He's got movies, and then he's got not every night. I think every. Wait a second. This is weekend, and he's still doing the.
Now,
he did both of his shows, evening shows. Wow.
If I'm reading Miss Rena right here, is it your birthday, Chris?
Oh yeah, today's my birthday.
Happy the 1st or the 30th?
The 1st of May.
All right.
Excuse me.
Well, you want to know whose
me,
birthday
it's still the 30th, but happy birthday.
Hey, I like being 52 still.
Hey, you want to know whose birthday it is on the 2nd of May?
Yes.
Rick Piper's, but not me. My dad.
Wait a minute.
Happy birthday to him.
Yeah, your birthday is it's your launch date.
24th. Yeah.
Yes.
But my dad has the same name, well, first and last name, Rick Piper.
Right.
And his birthday is on May 2nd.
So
I just thought I'd troll you guys.
Your dad is Rick Piper Sr. and you're Rick Piper Jr. Is that what you're trying to get at there, Rick?
Well, sort of. We have different middle names. His is Richard Allen Piper, and
don't dox his middle name.
He doesn't care. I'm not telling you where he lives.
Okay.
Wait a minute. It says right here on Google. No.
Here's his house at Google Maps.
Hey, I wouldn't want to be some idiot showing up on his house, messing with him.
Well, as of course, as you guys might know, of course, Rick and Chris dropped into RJ's stream earlier tonight where we were having my interview, the interview I was doing, talking about.
Oh no, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Well, you can always go back and catch the.
Yeah, that would be that sounds like a lot of fun.
Because my dad. Oh, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, as I said, you can go back and catch the reruns. I just basically, kind of, in the hour and 20 minutes of the stream there, I just kind of went over like how I got started, with my channel, and eventually got around to how I picked my stories out for both my newscast and my the Friday night historical retrospect. So it's probably some interesting stuff, very detailed, obviously.
Because I never saw it when you first started streaming, so that'd be interesting.
It was basically the same time as always for RJ. It was like 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So.
What I'm saying, I didn't ever see your show until I started seeing you show up here. I think I started learning about your show after I heard of people picking on you on art. Even then, I didn't know you had a show, and I think it was when you started showing up here when I learned you had a show. So it'd be interesting to go back and watch that video and hear the history of your show.
Mhm.
But yeah, my dad once said to somebody, "I ain't afraid of the police. I've been in trouble before, and you know, so he isn't afraid of the police coming if he does something or whatever."
It's kind of funny because normal, you know, as even RJ pointed out, which is true. Normally on Saturday is kind of my off day. You know, I don't do any of my own. Granted, I don't mind going on other people's streams like this or doing stuff. I just usually don't do anything on my own because, as you guys know, you guys have been on my show. You guys have dropped by my streams enough to know I put a lot of effort and stuff into preparing my shows. You know,
Rick,
What?
you're not cool, man. I saw that shit. Oh,
What?
oh. Okay, I'm yawning. Sorry, he yawned, and I'm like, oh no.
well,
Oh, the
not
yawning! I thought it was me moving my jaw back and forth.
No, it was the yawn, man. Oh god.
Oh,
Sorry,
hey,
Mike. It's like, what time is it there? Here it's like 1:00 or something like that. So it's got to be
It's
what,
almost
like
2.
11 there?
It's almost 2.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
1:40
well, it's
for
1:40.
us.
where I'm at, it's like 10:40
Yeah.
Saturday.
But I was also going to say,
You're in that wacky West Coast time.
Yeah.
You're in the past.
I was going to say for anybody listening, for the merry month of May, my streaming is actually going to be a little different. I'm going to try Monday through Friday to go from noon to 8:00 at night.
Every day?
You're gonna try to go 8 full hours,
5 days a week, because I know I need to get my Hero Shack stuff done, my troll story by the 20th, and I want to get caught up with all my coloring on Snowdrift and Canadian Shield, because my launch date is soon approaching.
So what's going on with Melvin? Are you also working on that still too?
He's focusing on Melvin 2. I'm working a little bit on coloring the Melvin 3 cover, little bit by little bit. I haven't touched it in a couple days. Once he gets Melvin 2 all packed away, we'll start working on Melvin 3 again. He was going back and forth, and I'm like, buddy, you got a campaign for Melvin 2 that you had up for 6-7 months.
Yeah.
Get that put together. We've got half the book for number 3. Once you get all that packed away and you launch, we can start focusing on me paying your guy to do the pencils for Melvin 3 and me inking them.
Yeah. Rena, it's kind of my fault. I kind of caught wind of the stream, just a few minutes ago, and decided to pop in. I had my
she's right though.
Earlier as well. So,
look, guys, I love you all, but I am going to end the stream. Check out the website HeroShack.com. I've got you guys listed. Everybody on the panel is listed in the Comic Friends and in the stream guide. And Miss Rena, we need to get you going as soon as I know what your address is. We can do that too. DM us. Anyways, I'm going to run this video and disappear, and then I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, I'm sure.
Like for Twitter, and that, Miss Rena.
RJ will send you a link for the open mic.
That's right. We have open mic tomorrow night at 8.
Oh, and check out my link in the chat. It was my last Stackian show. It was pretty entertaining. That Battle Dolphins.
And if you guys go up to it, you can always again go over to RJ's channel and check out the interview I did earlier. So,
and also check out the logo in the thumbnail. I loved it. I thought that was so cool. It made me want to click it. Logos must do something. I was attracted to the logo. So, guys, I'm going to run this silly video because, I'm trying to advertise my book. And I'll see you all tomorrow.
Take care.
You too.
Cross Comics is proud to present on June 24th, 2022, a great big extravaganza. It is Rick Piper's 49 That's not the big extravaganza. The big extravaganza is the launch of Canadian Shield 2 and Snowdrift number 1. You need to be there. Of course, it's Rick's birthday, but who cares about Rick's birthday? Be there for the launch. Maybe you can make it happen for Rick's birthday. That this funds all that day and more. Make it explode to 5 times, 10 times, 100 times the amount. Be there for the launch of Canadian Shield 2 and Snowdrift number 1.
We're just gonna wait, give people a chance to get in here before we get started. Last night at WrestleMania 38.
I'd just like to point out, mature readers only. I would definitely not recommend this book for children.
No, do not.
And oh my God, I read Cluster Fudge 1 today. That's why I was running late, and I loved it. I actually was just gonna give it a quick read before the stream, and I ended up reading it twice.